Okay, Greta, let's get this party started.
Do it.
Yeah, so this is a new day for the Tolkien Road. We are not leaving the past behind, but we are forging forward.
Oh,
After that big question mark of a last episode.
cool.
We got like you said, we got our good equipment going on right now again. Hopefully it comes out and the recording doesn't mess up, but we do have our backups in case it'll just sound a little weirder and not as great as it sounds to you and me right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I just want to not, like we're still going to read, like we're reading the Hobbit. This is the Hobbit chapter 7, but I want to start like, thinking like we have that same theme song and I'm like, maybe we need a new one or something.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe not.
I think it'd be worth a shot. I mean,
Yeah.
we could always try it on for size.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, well, I've got all these old. See, everybody knows the Tolkien Haiku theme. Everyone in the world knows the Tolkien Haiku theme. It's one of the most famous songs.
It's a classic
In the world.
Mm-hmm.
Actually written by Bob Dylan. Did you know that?
He writes everything.
He writes everything.
Everything.
I have several leftovers though from those haiku theme song sessions, right? So I thought we could look.
I'm sorry. We're talking about haiku theme songs.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the episode.
Well, these are left over from. I'm not changing the haiku theme song. Like that one stands forever. But like I'm saying the intro music and everything. Like
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm confused.
Why?
So you're talking about episode theme, and then you're talking about haiku theme, and I don't know.
We're not changing the haiku theme.
Okay.
I'm saying that I have several leftover songs from the haiku theme sessions that didn't get used,
I see.
and I'm like,
You're thinking about maybe using one of those
for our
new theme song.
theme song for the show.
Now I get it.
Mind blown.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's try some of these out.
Okay.
And this is a cool thing about using this new setup is I've got the speaker actually plugged in, so this is going to sound like instead of me holding my phone up to the microphone, this is going to sound good. So here we go.
Awesome.
This is option 1. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that says
I want to get up and dance right now.
as long as you can stay close to the microphone.
That's pretty catchy.
You know it.
It's real catchy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Here's let's pause there. I mean, that says Tolkien pretty much. Like, if you imagine Tolkien like putting something on his record player while he's
writing
on his phonograph, right, while he was writing, to just concentrate, like, and kind of get in the Middle Earth mood. Mm-hmm. That pretty much says that.
Would probably be it.
That's pretty much it right there.
Yep.
I think that's what he had in mind when he was writing "The Road Goes Ever On."
I think you're spot
that's like
on.
the tune
Yeah.
he had in mind.
I think you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah. So but this next one's pretty close. So let's check this one out.
Let's see this one.
Yeah.
It's a little mellower, but it's still got a really good beat.
Yeah, this is got to end with the splash.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, it's a little mellower. It's maybe a little more elvish as opposed to the full on Dunedain of the first one we did. The first one we heard.
I was going to say that first one I could hear in a dance club in Minas Tirith, I think.
Minas Tirith, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Right on. And you remember the dance club from Minas Tirith, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Everybody remembers that.
Didn't we do a whole episode on it?
No, but we need to.
We do.
Yeah. We should just cancel this episode right now and do it on that.
I think you're right.
No, but we need to hear this fourth. We have other things we need to attend to. We can't follow the shiny object. We got to focus. All right, here's the third option here. I really like this one.
I'm digging it too.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Like that transition.
I think this is it.
This is like this would make the writer of the Miami Vice theme song jealous.
Yeah, totally.
This is like Gondor Vice right here.
That's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Gondor Vice.
Yeah.
I think this is it.
You think this
If we're
is
gonna
it?
change, I think it needs to be this.
Right on.
Like I have all these scenes from Lord of the Rings flashing through my brain to this tune, and
Yeah.
it works with all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you think that's the one?
I think that might be it.
Okay.
But what are you just like? You just kind of want a fresh face, or
Yeah, we've had the same theme song for over 150 episodes, and we're kind of, as we mentioned on the last episode, we're kind of hitting refresh a little bit, launching out into something new, and as proud as we are of the past, like we want to build on that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just think, the old theme song, while it really it felt like a key part of Middle Earth and the Middle Earth experience. It's just like something. It just felt a little too ancient to me. It just had that Deeps of Time sort of vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, well, we need to bring this up to like the Third Age.
The Third Age.
And I think that last song says the Third Age.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I vote.
You
I vote yes.
You vote yes?
I do.
Okay.
I wonder what our listeners think.
Well, they can tell us.
They can tell us. Tell us.
If they want to vote, hey, if they want to vote for another one, feel free. We're feeling pretty good about version 4, but we'll hold the door open on this. So let us know. Go, send us emails, TolkienRoadPodcast@gmail.com. You can go over to patreon.com/TolkienRoad, and you can just follow us there. You don't have to necessarily be a patron, but you can just follow us there, and you can tell us over there on the episode notes what you want. You can go to Facebook where we post this episode and mention it over there. So there's so many different options in which you can vote if you so choose.
I would just really like to know what they think.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we've been kind of vocal about our personal opinion, but if they like another one and want to make a case for it,
yeah,
I'm up for that.
Okay. Well, speaking of Patreon,
yeah.
So little Patreon update. So
okay.
As we mentioned, we are retrying Patreon. We did Patreon for a while. Always felt behind, like I was always like trying to keep up with people's generosity, and I just and I don't know, like it's just I stopped it because it didn't feel good at that point. But then I thought, thinking about it, and like we're doing this new like per episode kind of thing now. Mm-hmm. So here's the deal, right? In case you don't already know, and even if you do, you need to know. You can give like $1 per episode, right?
Yep.
And you're helping contribute to this podcast being better, like because it's going to get good. Like you thought it was good before, it can get even better, right? Like way better. And you're contributing to more quantity, right? Because we've got certain goals set up. So just to give you an update on those goals, we have, we're already past our goal number 1. So, which is good because that means guaranteed, right? For everybody, right? Guaranteed at least 1 episode per month, right?
That's terrific.
Yeah. And so we've already hit that one, and we are 55% of the way to our guaranteed two new episodes per month.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. That's awesome.
We are 36% of the way to our 3+ episodes per month guaranteed. Right? Huh. And then 27% of the way to 4+ episodes, 4 new episodes per month guaranteed. Right? So we want to get this thing going to where we can really do it on a weekly basis, and not get other things that come up and distract from us. And to be honest, like this is what we told you last episode. We need, we need patrons to do that.
Mm-hmm.
We need your guys' generosity to help us do that. We're really appreciative to everybody who
very
has
much.
Either former patrons who have re-upped their patronage, which is awesome. Several folks like that. And then to new patrons who maybe weren't before, but they're doing it this time. So it's just outstanding. And, I was thinking about this week because I went and there's a certain podcast I have started listening to a lot, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna give a couple of bucks to these guys because they do a good podcast. I really enjoy this, and maybe they don't need it. I'm sure there's people that give more than I do, but every little bit, as a creator myself, I know that every little bit, every time I see that pledge come across, right, it's just like I want to hug that person.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it just makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
Mm-hmm. It really is. It's always encouraging to know that there's people out there who enjoy what you're doing enough to give to it. Even if it's just a little bit. Every little bit, makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got to support the things we love. It's the bottom line. And there's so much out there that's given for free. And this podcast will always be free for anybody, to come and listen. But it's in my mind, it's like if I truly if I'm listening to something a lot, it's like I want to show my appreciation for that thing. Yeah. And I want to make sure that people realize that I appreciate it. So, and there's other ways you can do that. Not everybody can afford to give, and we completely understand that. But for those who can, even give us $1 per episode, right? And you can set that max, right? If you don't want to go over a certain amount per month, you can set that max, right? But just any little bit helps. So, and helps us get everybody to that goal, right? So go on over to patreon.com/Tolkien Road and check out how you do it. It's pretty easy to sign up. And, if you got any questions about it, you can shoot me an email, tolkienroadpodcast@gmail.com, or ask me a question over there and I'll answer your questions. So.
Very good.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're about to jump into talking about The Hobbit, Chapter 7.
Okay.
Right? Queer Lodgings. Okay. All right. But I want to tell everybody, it's been a while, so we've got a lot of correspondence and other big news to catch up on. So stay tuned to the end of the episode for some discussion about that stuff. Right?
If you're short on time, you can always listen to us on double speed.
Well,
to get to the end.
Yeah. Well,
or 1.5 speed.
Or 1.5 speed. I think that's probably better.
1.5 speed is probably better. It's funny though. It really depends on. I know some things you can listen to on 1.5 speed and it's fine. Other things, it's too fast.
Yeah.
But I think we'd be okay on 1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we would.
Yeah.
Yeah. I listen to most things on 1.25 or 1.5 speed.
Yeah, 1.25. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1.25.
Yeah, it is a good one. 1.26, maybe just pushing it a little bit too
much.
far
That
over the line.
0.01 makes a big difference.
It does.
So maybe we should get started since we've asked people to,
right,
stay tuned to the end.
I'm just excited. There's so much to talk about.
Too. I know.
So, but just a little teaser for what's at the end. We're going to talk about. We're going to watch for the first time. Excuse me, I got a cough.
Excuse you.
Yeah, you might need to talk for a second.
Okay. We're going to watch something that I don't even know what it is. And I'm very excited.
Come on, you can do better than that.
Okay. We're going to watch something, and it probably has to do with Tolkien, and it's going to be awesome. So.
It's actually the trailer for the Tolkien biopic. So it's like a minute long. It's the first trailer to come out for it.
Have you watched it already?
I have not watched it yet. I've been waiting for this podcast to watch it.
Wow.
Came out earlier this week.
So you can give our immediate first impressions.
Yeah.
And share them with our listeners.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
So yeah, there's that. And then there's the big thing with the Lord of the Rings on Prime TV show Twitter feed went up this week. And we're going to talk about what's there. And we'll probably, I imagine for every episode going forward, there's going to be new stuff to share on there as they kind of start teasing out what in the world they're even doing.
What they're going to be doing.
Yeah, which we don't really know much.
Has the Twitter feed given any hints at all?
Well, we'll talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
I think I might even stick around to the end.
Yeah.
You didn't know. I didn't know it was going to be this awesome.
Well.
All right. I won't quit in the middle I was thinking about doing.
I'm glad to hear that. Okay. So, and then more with the correspondence and a lot more to catch up on. So, all right, let's talk about Chapter 7.
Lucky number 7.
Queer Lodgings.
Queer.
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Funky.
Strange. Stranger Things.
Out of the ordinary.
Yes.
Stranger than Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Let's do it.
So I was thinking to myself, like, this is the Tom Bombadil chapter of this book, right?
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
Yep. I can see where you're going with that.
It's like, who is Beorn?
Who is
right?
Beorn?
Who is this guy? We learn a little bit about him, kind of like we learned a little bit about Tom in Lord of the Rings. But this is like that point at which they've escaped from all this danger. It's still fairly early in the story. And we meet this interesting individual who just kind of like lives by himself or is like very connected to nature and into the land around him.
Yep.
And is an odd fellow. You know, a rather odd fellow for various reasons.
Yeah.
And his origins are mysterious.
Yes, just like Tom Bombadil.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly, which is why I said this is like the Tom Bombadil
chapter
chapter of this book.
It totally is. And you want to know more. Like, you want to know more about him because he's very intriguing.
Yeah.
Just like Tom is very intriguing.
Yep.
Yeah, so good parallel.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we last met Bilbo, when we last were with Bilbo, he was in the Eagle's Nest, right?
In the Eyries.
That's right.
Yes.
And he wakes up and he thinks he's like
back home at
for
home.
A second. Yeah.
That made me kind of sad.
Well, not as sad as Bilbo.
I know.
Not to be at home.
Yeah.
But he wakes up and he's there in the Eagle's Nest, and they're the Eagles. So they had just been rescued, of course, the night before by the Eagles. The Eagles had rescued them from the wargs and the goblins who were coming out of the Misty Mountains after them.
Right.
And
the you catastrophic moment.
That catastrophic moment, right? So, so we have a little bit of a time with the Eagles here, a little bit of a convo experience with the Eagles, and they're not in rescue mode.
Yeah,
we get a little taste of their.
It's kind of their day to day.
Their day to day.
Yeah,
exactly. I guess what I want to say about this is I liked the little exchange between the Eagle and Gandalf, right? Where the Eagles come in, and this is like as they're leaving, right? When the party is leaving, they say, "Farewell," the Eagles cried, "wherever you fare, till your eyries receive you at the journey's end." That is the polite thing to say among Eagles, right?
The polite
and then
thing.
Gandalf knows the right answer, right? Knows the right response. "May the wind under your wings bear you where the sun sails and the moon walks."
You know what's interesting about that exchange?
What?
They're both haiku.
No kidding.
Yep.
Wow.
I figured it out. I was gonna use two of these excuse me, for my haiku.
Yeah.
But since you brought it up right now, I couldn't contain my excitement. They are both. So now I don't know if it's cheating or not, but if you just omit farewell, like instead of, they say farewell, they cried, but then starting with wherever you fare.
Yeah.
So wherever you fare till your eyries receive you at the journey's end. That's a haiku.
Nice.
17 syllables. And then Gandalf's response is also haiku. May the wind under your wings bear you where the sun sails and the moon walks.
Boom.
Yeah.
Well, wow. Good for you for picking that out.
I was kind of excited because I was reading it and I was like, that sounds like it could be a haiku. And so I went and counted the syllables and I was like, what? So I was really excited when I figured out that the Eagles blessing was a haiku. But then when I discovered that Gandalf's was also haiku, I was like, how can people say Tolkien was not a haiku fan? Clearly he was a haiku fan.
I know all those people out there, like that website, like Tolkien was not a haiku fan.com.
I know.
Like where do they get
off? I mean, clearly they've never read any of Tolkien's works.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they need to take that website, cease and desist on that website right away.
Yeah. I agree. I totally agree. And I kind of want to memorize that response because I feel like it would be a fun thing to say to people when you're leaving.
I was thinking the same thing. I would be like everybody's favorite person in the world if that was what I said to them when they left.
Yeah.
Right? And I would never feel bad about saying goodbye to somebody that way.
Right.
No, like you've outstayed your welcome. I'm like, all right. Hey, may the wind under your wings bear you where the sun sails and the moon walks.
It's like,
thanks, I guess. That's really...
Let me think about that for a minute.
Yeah. I love the tone of this part though, because like Tolkien's, it's a little bit tongue in cheek because he's like, it's almost like, as everybody knows, that is the polite thing to say among eagles. That is the polite thing to say,
right.
And then it's like the correct reply, come on people, you don't say thanks, you say may the wind under your wings bear you where the sun sails and the moon walks.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think it's I think it's beautiful.
Uh-huh.
And I love too that that even though this is an eagle talking to a wizard, he still uses the term Eyries.
Yes.
So I wonder if like instead of saying I'm going to go home now, we could say I'm going to alight to my Eyrie.
Ooh.
Like even though I'm a person, could we start calling our home? Like we can invite somebody over. Hey, would you like to come over to our Eyrie tomorrow night? Would that be weird?
That would definitely be weird. I'm not saying we couldn't do it, but
I think that I think it would be okay because the eagle knows he's talking to a person, yet he still refers to places as Eyries. Am I saying it wrong? Is that why you're looking up the pronunciation?
We talked about this on the last episode we've been, but it's been so long that I couldn't remember.
Okay, I hope I'm not right. I hope I'm not wrong.
Eyrie.
I like Eyrie better because Eyrie sounds sad and
eerie.
gloomy.
Sounds eerie.
It sounds eerie. I think there's probably a different way to say it too. Who does Emma think she is anyway? What is this website? EmmaSaying.com?
EmmaSaying.com.
Is it like Emma, like Jane Austen's Emma?
No, it's just, I guess, maybe. I think it's supposed to, I mean, it might be like the British pronunciation. Let's see what this one has to say.
Well.
Or this one.
Why are they so long?
Eyrie.
See? Boom.
Eyrie.
Sounds like a computer saying it. Eyrie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still proved me not wrong, so I'm good.
So either one's okay, Greta.
Either one is okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for confirming that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm now going to start calling our home an Eyrie. Hey, kids, we need to pick up the Eyrie.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure we're on the same page.
I'm not going to stop you.
Okay.
All right.
Moving on.
Yeah. So, but they part with the eagles here, and then they head on down. So, anything you want to say more about the eagles before we move on? No,
I just want everybody to remember that they're both haiku.
Yeah.
And that I'm the one that discovered it.
You discovered it.
I did.
Well, it's already trending on Twitter, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
It better be.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So next, so they're moving on.
Right.
Kind of moving on from the Eyries, right?
I mean, from the Eyries.
The Eyries.
Yep.
Eyries.
Yeah. Eyries.
And
they're moving on.
Will you tell us what happens next?
They, well, I thought this was funny that Bilbo gets chided. He gets scolded by the eagle for holding on too tight.
Yeah.
And I thought that was funny because I was like, I would totally be holding on too tight, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy, this was funny. Okay. Where is it? When he's, oh no, where is it? Bilbo gets onto the eagle and they're taking off and then the eagle's like, don't pinch. And then he's like, it is a fair morning with little wind. What is finer than flying? Bilbo would have liked to say a warm bath and late breakfast on the lawn afterwards. But he thought it better to say nothing at all and to let go his clutch just a tiny bit. That made me chuckle. Actually, there's lots of things that I'd prefer to do than flying on a giant eagle's back right now.
It does sound cool, but then you think you're up there and you're like so high and you're just on the back of this eagle and you're like, you could.
And there's like nothing underneath you to stop you. You're not strapped in. Yeah. Like nothing's holding you there.
Right. Yeah. Except for your own grip strength.
Exactly. Grip strength. Yeah. Which apparently Bilbo's was a little too strong for the eagle.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they take them to a giant rock.
The Carrock.
Carrock.
That's right. So yeah, they're like, well, where did this thing come from? What is this Carrock? And
have you seen any? I was wondering what this looked like. Like, is it kind of like an El Capitan thing, or is it like a part of a mountain range, or? Like, I was trying to figure out if it was just like the standalone giant rock. It clearly was flat at the top, so they could land.
Here's a picture of it by Alan Lee.
Oh, it does kind of look like El Capitan, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get a full resolution on that bad boy.
That's beautiful.
There they are with the steps and everything.
So it is a standalone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really part of a. It looks surprisingly like El Capitan.
Well, it's a lot smaller than El Capitan.
Well, a lot smaller, yeah, but just the shape of it. It's just really like a wall of rock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. Look at steps, who we learned that Beorn.
Yeah.
Is the one. Am I saying his name right?
Beorn.
Yeah. Yeah. Beorn built the steps.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Beorn built the steps. We don't learn his name initially. Right. It just says, but there is somebody that I know of who lives not far away. That somebody made the steps on the great rock.
Yeah, why do you think Gandalf's being so like mysterious? Why doesn't he just come out right and say, "Oh yeah, my buddy Beorn, he can turn into a bear when he wants to." So be nice to him.
Yeah, he doesn't hide it too long.
No, not too long, but I just wonder why he doesn't just tell them at the beginning.
Because things are more interesting that way. And Gandalf is one of the most interesting people in the world.
Okay. All right.
He knows how to make it interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's just funny because he's like, Bilbo has to basically draw it out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And then Gandalf is finally like, fine, if you must know, his name is Beorn.
Right.
He is very strong and he is a skin changer. There, are you happy? You made me tell my secret before I was ready.
Oh, that ain't good.
No.
Well, we do hear, so yeah, we hear a little bit about Beorn before we meet him.
Right.
So Bilbo initially thinks that because he's a skin changer, that means that he like kills animals and takes their skin, right? And like,
right.
And does weird stuff or sells it or whatever. And Gandalf says, no way, you're completely misunderstanding. And when you see him, do not mention something like that because he'll probably kill you. So we get, a little bit of description here, and it's like he's either he's either descended from bears, or he's descended from men who lived in this part of the world in like very early times, right? Very ancient times.
That lived in the. Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're not really sure which one, but he can change into a bear. He's a big man who can change into a big bear, right? So,
kind of cool.
Don't get on his bad side.
Mm-hmm. It's a really cool superpower.
Mm-hmm. I like the bit about and we learn that he's basically like a vegetarian, right?
Right.
All the animals are his friends, and he lives on cream and honey.
That sounds
lives
delicious.
Most on cream and honey. It does sound delicious.
And bread.
And other things too, but Gandalf says here cream and honey.
Cream and honey.
And that made me think of like when the Old Testament describes like the promised land for the Israelites. It describes it as a land flowing with milk and honey. Right?
Oh, I didn't pick up on that. That's cool. Yeah.
So I just thought that was kind of neat. And then it also, because of like the way that Beorn is described, it also makes me think a little bit of like John the Baptist. And
because he lived on honey. And
was it locusts and honey?
It was locusts and honey.
Yeah, so it wasn't cream and honey, but it was like locusts and honey. But so the honey part, but also just kind of like this guy like living out by himself, like in the in the
middle of nowhere
near the river.
Yeah,
and he's just like he works for nobody and belongs to nobody, and he's just like, I'm out here to do this.
Yeah,
to do this thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know, just a couple of interesting that alluded to in my mind.
Okay. Right? Yeah, totally. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
And of course, we know bears like honey because we all know Winnie the Pooh. Mm-hmm. Always getting his hand stuck in the honey jar.
Yeah, I definitely that is the bear I picture when I picture Beorn as a bear. Definitely is Winnie the Pooh.
Well, clearly Winnie the Pooh is yellow, not black. So,
right. But otherwise, basically Winnie the Pooh but black is what you're saying.
No.
That's not what you're saying?
Well, no, I'm just saying that we know that bears like honey. I don't think Beorn looks anything like Winnie the Pooh. Mm-hmm. I just think he likes honey. Like Winnie the Pooh likes honey.
But he talks like Winnie the Pooh.
No, he doesn't.
What?
Like Winnie the Pooh is like on one extreme of the spectrum, and then Beorn is on the other. When it comes to bears.
Beorn the Pooh.
No. We need to stop this. I'm sorry I brought it up. Anyway.
How does one get the name Winnie the Pooh anyway? It's just like...
Let's not even go down that trail, please.
Yes.
But yeah, okay. It is kind of interesting to me that... okay, here's a question because I don't know. Are bears... I know they like honey, but are they... Which means they're not vegan, right? Vegans don't eat honey. Anyway.
You're correct.
Yes, I am correct.
Survey says, ding.
So, but like bears
they
not...
Don't? Vegans don't eat honey?
No, because it comes from bees.
But it doesn't like... Oh, okay, I guess.
I know. It's like really strict vegans don't eat honey.
Okay.
I know I'm right about this.
All right.
So, but my question is, are bears typically... herbivores, or do they? I thought they ate meat typically. Oh.
Whoops.
Wow, that's a kind of a.
Go away, you.
That was bizarre.
Oh, it's the recording. I forgot to take that out of there as we record.
Yeah. Okay, no worries. It's not a big deal.
The revenge of the Tolkien Road theme song. You won't be rid of me that easy. I'll just pop up anywhere.
I will haunt you for the rest of your life if you replace me.
I heard you talking about my demise.
And I'm here to make you think otherwise.
Nice rhyme.
Oh, I wasn't even trying. Oh, wow. Okay. Guess we're on it today. Anyway, but aren't bears typically... Don't they usually eat meat? Isn't it unusual? Yeah. So it's unusual for Beorn to be a vegetarian and be a bear.
I think bears are omnivores. I think
they eat both.
Like pretty much anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Beorn is a little bit atypical in that sense, and that he doesn't eat meat.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
we're talking
cream and honey.
Cream and honey.
We talked about cream and honey. Now let's talk about...
I want some cream and honey now.
You know what I haven't had in a long time is nut and honey. Remember that cereal?
Do they still make that?
They better. Because I want some now.
I remember those commercials were so cheesy and funny.
Nut and honey.
What you doing, honey? Oh, nut and honey.
What would you like for breakfast? Nut and honey. Right? That was a joke, right? You know, it's like, what would you like for breakfast? What'll you have? Nut and honey. Well, why are you here then? You know, it's like the joke.
Yes.
That's my little joke.
That's your joke.
All right. The next thing we come across is bees.
Bees.
Big old bees.
They're ginormous bees.
Yeah. Big as hornets. Bigger than hornets.
Bigger than hornets. That's real big.
Bigger than your thumb. That's a big bee.
Oh my gosh. That's a really big bee. I hate bees. My grandfather kept bees.
Yeah.
And he had lots of hives at the farm. Mm-hmm. And he kept them in a designated place.
Right.
But I've never, like, I know he asked me if I wanted to, suit up and, go harvest honey with him. And I couldn't do it. I was too scared. But there's not much better than homegrown honey.
Especially if you've ever seen My Girl. Remember?
Oh, yes.
Where Macaulay Culkin's
he's allergic.
Yeah. Spoiler. He gets stung by bees at the end and dies.
It's really,
so sad.
I think maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I was scared.
Yeah.
But I don't know that. Anyway, I was terrified of getting stung. And, the suit is not completely all protective. I mean, there's ways that bees can still get in it.
Oh, yeah.
But the payoff is huge because
honey's
homegrown
delicious.
Honey is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's our many homegrown things.
Indeed.
All right. Okay, so yeah, we're like getting closer to where Beorn lives, and we see all these bees and big old bees.
Yep.
And then Gandalf really says to the party, like, look, we got to be a little careful here. We don't want to approach Beorn too quickly.
Right.
Things might get a little crazy there. So we're going to go in pairs. Right, we're going to approach him in pairs. Mm-hmm. And so
it's be 5 minutes.
It's
between each pair.
Gandalf and Bilbo go first, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, they walk up and they find Beorn, and
well, can we just say real
go
quick
ahead.
that the horses announced their arrival?
Yes,
which I think was really cool.
Talking animals.
I love talking animals.
It's Animal Wonderland.
I want to go to there.
Yeah,
it'd be really cool.
Yep.
Yeah,
it would be.
So yeah, the horses announced their arrival,
and
then Beorn meets them in the courtyard.
Who are you and what do you want? I am Gandalf. Never heard of him. I love that. Right?
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Gandalf. You think you're so cool.
Somebody needed an ego check.
Yeah, really.
There you go.
You knew who Beorn was. He didn't know who you were.
I like them apples.
Yeah. The whole world doesn't revolve around you, Gandalf.
Nope.
Think again.
But you know who Beorn does know?
Who?
Radagast.
Oh, little wizard competition going on here.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Well, now he knows Gandalf.
Now he knows Gandalf.
Now he knows after this.
Mm-hmm.
So, So, they start telling him the story about how they came here, and they mention like goblins are against us, and Beorn's like, "Oh, well, I don't like goblins either, so maybe
we have that in common.
Maybe that's something in common, something we can build on."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what happens is Gandalf starts giving away like little parts of the story where it hints that there's other people with them.
Right.
And
this is comical.
Yeah, it's a very like kind of long drawn out comical introduction to everybody. It reminds me a little bit of the first chapter of the book where all the dwarves show up like,
arriving
at different times, right? And it's like how many dwarves are coming?
Yeah.
We get to experience that all over again.
Yes.
So, I was coming over the mountains with a friend or two. I can only see one, and a little one at that. And so that's when Thorin and Dori show up. And
he does know Thorin.
He does, yeah.
He knows who his descent. He knows who Thorin is descended from.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it just kind of keeps going. Gandalf keeps coming back to the story, and
they keep getting interrupted.
More, Beorn's like, wait a minute, you said there was this, and I only see this, and then they keep coming.
Right.
And he refers to them as Jack in the Boxes.
Yes, they keep popping up.
Right, they keep popping up.
But it was quite ingenious on Gandalf's part.
Yeah.
He eased them in.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like a huge gaggle appearing all at once, but also by the continuous interruptions, it kept Beorn interested.
Right.
Like he kept it provided many cliffhangers and kept Beorn, intrigued.
Yeah.
And wanting to know more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then Beorn says, "A very good tale. The best I have heard for a long while."
Mm-hmm.
And then he feeds them. So I would say win-win.
I did like the part where, poor old Bombur, he's always getting called fat by people.
And he was left for last, which he was not happy about.
A Bombur insult sandwich is this scene, because at the beginning he's like, Gandalf's like, we're going to go in pairs, about 5 minutes between each pair of you. Bombur is fattest and will do for two. He had better come alone and last.
Bombur is fattest and will do for two.
Before they even go. And then when they're all, right as they're all done, it's like, in came Bifur and Bofur. And me, gasped Bombur, puffing up behind. He was fat and also angry at being left till last. He refused to wait 5 minutes and followed immediately after the other two. So
it's been the fact that Bombur is fat has been well established in this chapter.
This chapter's reference to Bombur being fat, brought to you by Beorn and his honey. Beorn's honey.
Beorn's honey. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good old Bombur.
Yeah, he's definitely the comic relief.
Yeah,
in much
he's one of the favorites.
Yeah, definitely. But I love how Beorn's house is described. Yeah. It seems just very homey and welcoming, which is funny because Beorn himself is not super friendly.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't give off, that's not your first impression of him. Here's a giant, hospitable teddy bear who just wants to feed and welcome people into his home. Mm-hmm. That's not your first impression. But his home just seems like a really nice place to be.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, do you have this picture of it in your book?
I do.
Tolkien's picture of it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a cool picture.
It is really cool.
Beorn's Hall.
Yeah.
Tolkien's own rendering of it, so you can kind of get a feel for what he envisioned in his mind's eye.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, I guess that's a fire pit in the middle.
Yeah, I think cool. So. Yeah. It's like they talk about having a fire.
Yeah.
During dinner.
Be a little it's kind of large. I'd be a little worried about falling into it, like tripping and falling into it.
Yeah. Don't drink too much mead.
Yes. Okay, well, it's a nice place. It is definitely a nice place, so they have dinner.
Yep.
Excuse me. The dogs could stand on their hind legs, which I thought was cool.
That's really cool.
And carry things with their 4 feet.
It's a funny mental image, too.
It is a funny image. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like those paintings of like dogs playing cards and stuff like that. You know?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And there's sheep that also are helping out. So it's almost like Beorn should be married to Snow White.
Ah.
You know?
Yes, and she could control like the animals and like the squirrels sewing her dress and the birds.
Wasn't that Snow White? The Disney?
Nope, you're thinking of Cinderella.
Cinderella. Okay, sorry, yeah.
There's probably something similar in Snow White though.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's a very Disney princess thing to do.
The thing that I referenced was Cinderella. Yes, talking animals and yeah.
And like that, help you do things.
It's also very like Narnia. Like it reminds you of the Narnia books.
Yeah, it's you really don't come across a lot of especially when you get into Lord of the Rings, you don't come across as many like talking animals.
That's
you
true.
have the Ents, but they're not really. They're more people. Like they're more like human like than like dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, it feels a little bit more like that's an aspect of this which feels a little bit more like children's story,
which is what he wrote it to be.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
So, they have dinner, and Beorn tells tales about his own tales about the wildlands, and appreciative of, the tales that they had told him, and they start talking about the journey before them. So they got a good, couple days journey to get to even into a place where they can go into Mirkwood. It turns out,
right? Because this was not a planned stop for them. Like this is not technically on their way because the run-in with the goblins got them off track.
Well,
right?
yeah, and they didn't have any they basically came off of their rescue from the Eagles, and everybody except for Bilbo had basically lost all their stuff, right? Because they were prisoners,
right?
Of the dwarves,
right,
or not of the dwarves of the goblins. Right.
Yes, the goblins.
So they had no resources, so they needed to find help before they went to Mirkwood because Mirkwood is not a safe place.
Right, and there's no resources there.
Right.
Yeah.
So it says, all the time they ate, Beorn in his deep rolling voice told tales of the wild lands on this side of the mountains, and especially of the dark and dangerous wood that lay outstretched far to north and south, a day's ride before them, barring their way to the east, the terrible forest of Mirkwood. The dwarves listened and shook their beards, for they knew that they must soon venture into that forest, and that after the mountains it was the worst of the perils they had to pass before they came to the dragon's stronghold. When dinner was over, they began to tell tales of their own, but Beorn seemed to be growing drowsy and paid little heed to them. And they speak of gold and silver and jewels and all the treasure stuff. So, and then they just drink mead for a while. They sit around and drink mead.
By the fire?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beorn disappears on them while they're doing this. And
he must needed some alone time.
Yeah, and they start singing their song.
They do.
Do you need some time on your own?
Everybody needs some time
all alone.
Don't you know you need some time on your own?
Everybody needs some time
all alone.
Have we successfully creeped out our audience yet?
If not, I think we're close.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just going to ask, did you write about this song in your most recent book?
In Tolkien's Overture? I think I did.
Well, I wanted to ask, but then I didn't want to ask because then I'd make it obvious that I haven't read it yet, which I'm actually kind of embarrassed about.
I've just given up on you ever reading anything I write.
Whatever. I read your first book.
Yeah. Sure you did.
Yeah. Well, maybe if you would give me a copy, I'd read it.
There's copies all over the place.
Oh, okay.
I'm drowning in copies here.
Okay.
No. Let me see here. Where is it? It's toward the end. Yeah, it's in chapter 7, where I talk about. Here we go.
Dwarves.
Oh, it's a little further on, actually. The music of the dwarves. The songs of the dwarves.
Songs.
Getting there.
The dwarves.
Dead air. Dead airspace, sorry. Music of dwarf. Did I already pass it? Music of. Oh, I did. I passed it. Music of men. Oh, here we go. Yeah. I say. I actually wrote a good bit about this, actually. It says, all right, so later in The Hobbit, while taking their rest in Beorn's house, the dwarves sing a song that begins, "The wind was on the withered heath." This is again a serious song, but it's altogether more mysterious than this song of the Misty Mountains. It's not so much about loss and determination as it is about the strange movement of the wind. To be honest, I'm not quite sure what place the song has in the story. If it were a song of the elves, I'd probably be content to simply assign it to one more example of strange elvish artistry. However, coming from the mouths of dwarves, there are only two possibilities that I can find for its ultimate meaning. First, it could be another song about the coming of Smaug, a sequel, as it were, to the Song of the Misty Mountains. To be sure, mention is made of a dragon's lair as well as of smoke, darkness, and the destructive power of the mysterious wind. Even so, it would seem that if Smaug were indeed the central focus of this song, then it would be more clear and direct about that point. The second possibility is that it is simply a song about the wind, both the wind as a natural phenomenon and the wind representing chance and fate. In other words, this is a song about feeling blown about by the winds of the world, the forces that surround and seem to govern our very existence. It's a wonderful contemplation arising from the windy sounds in the rafters and the crackling fire upon the hearth. The dwarves are considering their place in the world, feeling blown about like leaves, going from their once happy and peaceful existence in the kingdom of Erebor to being homeless wanderers like the leaves knocked from their branches down to the mold. The wind, the song says, comes and goes as it will, giving no apparent thought to the consequences of its movement. I think the second explanation makes the most sense. This is the dwarves at their most spiritual. Yes, they can be blustering and silly. Yes, they can be stern and determined, but the dwarves are also a mystical people in their own right. If we could characterize their spirituality by this song alone, we might see it as a matter of fact and even stoic, accepting their place in the world as free and rational beings, but yet not as children of Iluvatar. Their very existence is a strange anomaly in Middle-earth. So.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was pretty proud of that when I wrote it.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I really was, I thought it was a pretty song, but I wasn't quite sure why it was here and what it meant.
Yeah.
But I think you're onto something there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it is. That is just one little sample of what awaits you in the delightful Tolkien's Overture by John Carswell. Get your copy at Amazon.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
Or you can send me an email and I'll send you a signed copy.
Ooh, even better.
Right on. Okay. So, after they sing the song, do we want to read the song? Do you want to read it?
Yeah, let's read it.
You want to go back and forth?
Now, Bilbo says these, these are not all the verses. These are just a few of them. So it must have been a pretty long song.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they did long songs.
Yeah, I'll start.
Okay.
The wind was on the withered heath, but in the forest stirred no leaf. There shadows lay by night and day, and dark things silent crept beneath.
The wind came down from mountains cold, and like a tide it roared and rolled. The branches groaned, the forest moaned, and leaves were laid upon the mold.
The wind went on from west to east, all movement in the forest ceased, but shrill and harsh across the marsh, its whistling voices were released.
The grasses hissed, their tassels bent, the reeds were rattling, on it went, o'er shaken pool under heaven's cool, where racing clouds were torn and rent.
It passed the lonely mountain bare and swept above the dragon's lair. There black and dark lay boulders stark, and flying smoke was in the air.
It left the world and took its flight over the wide seas of the night. The moon set sail upon the gale, and stars were fanned to leaping light. It's good stuff.
It's really good.
Tolkien's the boss.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. So that gets Bilbo all drowsy.
Yep. He goes to sleep.
And he goes to sleep. And the beds, of course, were already made. So, Beorn's taking pretty good care of them.
Yeah,
right?
He really is.
He really is. He's a gracious host.
He is.
But Bilbo is awakened in the middle of the night by a growling sound outside and a noise as of some great animal scuffling at the door. And he thinks to himself, I wonder if Beorn's going to come in and kill us now.
Yeah.
If he's just been nice so he can kill us all, which is, a little bit creepy.
It is.
Creepy thought.
It is, yeah.
But the good news is that it's not.
Right.
It's not to be that way.
So do you think there was bad guys that Beorn was fighting, or what?
May have been. Yeah.
Like things after the company?
I don't know. I'm not really sure. Maybe.
Okay.
It's possible.
Yeah.
But he wakes up in the morning and he gets up a little later than everybody else. Gandalf, is it Gandalf? Yeah, Beaufort. No, it's Beaufort. Beaufort says, "Get up, lazy bones, or there will be no breakfast left for you." Breakfast? Where is breakfast? Mostly inside us. Good one, guys. Yeah.
Now talk about full-on panic for poor Bilbo.
Right. I mean, that's messed up.
It is.
When I last checked, Bilbo was starting to earn his keep. He was starting to help you guys out a little bit.
Just keep him well fed.
Let's be a little nicer to Bilbo.
Take care of him.
Yeah.
You need him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Gandalf. I've been picking up bear tracks. There must have been a regular bears meeting outside here last night, so sounds like it was a bears meeting.
Oh, it was a bears meeting.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Little bears, large bears, ordinary bears, gigantic big bears, all dancing outside from dark to nearly dawn. Dancing
you were
bears.
having a dance.
Well.
I love dancing bears. I used to have a dancing bear.
Oh.
Germany is big on bears.
Yeah. Dancing bears?
It's on their flag. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Is it?
There's a bear. Maybe it's the Berlin flag, actually. Berlin bear. It's a thing.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it was Berlin, not more generally Germany, but just Berlin. Yeah. So we were kind of into bears when we lived in Berlin. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool story, Bilbo.
Thanks. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so let's see. Bilbo, what shall we do? If he leads all the wargs and the goblins down here, where shall we shall all be caught and killed? I thought you said he was not a friend of theirs. He's not a friend of theirs. So
Wait,
Bilbo,
why does he think that Beorn is going to lead goblins and wargs to kill them? He's very distrustful, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, you got to figure, Bilbo's been going through some pretty serious stuff here as of late, right?
Yeah, that's probably true. He's probably on his guard.
He's almost died several times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does have a right to be suspicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
He's still just kind of like, what has Gandalf dragged me off to here?
Yeah.
So anyway, and I think they're just still one. Oh, the reason he asks is because Beorn, I think, had gone off in the direction of the Misty Mountains and hadn't come back yet, and so Bilbo's like, well, what if he leads the wargs and the goblins here?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Maybe not intentionally,
but
they follow him here.
Yeah, they catch his scent.
But it's like,
yeah.
I don't think you understand that Beorn can whoop them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're scared of
Eat
Beorn.
them for breakfast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think Beorn eventually returns and he listens to more of their story, and they start to trust him more, and
he's giving more details.
They really open up about the nature of their story,
right?
And
why they're on the road,
right? And Beorn offers, to kind of help them out, gives them some advice about the way they should go. They need to go the northern route.
Yep.
And
he gives them ponies,
right?
And he gives Gandalf a horse.
Yeah.
Gives them lots of food.
And he tells them, you must not stray from the path.
Yes.
Yeah, and don't drink the water from the stream in the forest.
Who would drink black water
I know.
anyway? That's just nasty. But I guess if you're really thirsty and you're desperate,
yeah,
And
he gives them lots of vegetarian food.
Yeah, nuts and
yeah,
flour and dried fruit, honey, twice baked cakes.
Yeah, and then they head off on their journey. It's like a 3 or 4 day journey north, and so they're heading north to the to this northern route through the forest, because it's like they could go the southern route, but that would take them near Dol Guldur, which is where the necromancer lives, who we, of course we learn later on is Sauron. Right.
Yep.
And so you don't want to go that way because you're just going to get trouble if you go that way. There's really like if you try to go through another like more middle route, then you're going to wind up way far south of the Lonely Mountains. You have to travel through some bad land on the other side of Mirkwood. But if you go the northern route, then you come out like right at the foothills of the Lonely Mountain. Right. So,
this is not without danger. I mean, it's going to still take them pretty close to the bad guys, but it's the path that they least expect them to take.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. So, but the big thing is like, do not stray from the path.
Right.
And so they travel, the end of the chapter is just them traveling. They know Beorn is kind of like shadowing their path, right, to make sure that they don't run into any further trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And
also to make sure that they return his ponies.
That's true. That is true. Beorn, Beorn's good people. He cares about his creatures. That's cool.
Yeah, it is really,
that
really
is very cool.
And he takes good care of friends.
Mm-hmm.
Once he learned to trust them. Once he realized he could trust them.
Right.
I think he really gave above and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't even know what would have happened to them if Beorn hadn't helped them out as much as he did. They were in some dire straits.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then of course Gandalf has to leave. He doesn't tell them much, but he basically says like, I have business off to the south that I have to attend to. So
I love how upset everybody gets. Like I feel like they just throw on I feel like they just like do a full on pity party. Like they're all so upset about him leaving. And it's funny to think about dwarves throwing a pity party, but I think that's basically what they do.
Yeah. And they're like, aren't there any other ways we could go? And it's like, well, you could go 200 miles to the north, and then twice that to the south. But in the north, you would be right among the slopes of the Grey Mountains, and they're simply stiff with goblins, hobgoblins, and orcs of the worst description. It's probably also cold up there, like really cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you go south, and you'd be in the land of the necromancer.
Yeah.
So
there's really no other good options.
And he says, as he's leaving them, he says, goodbye, be good, take care of yourselves, and don't leave the path.
Yeah. I don't think they should leave the path.
Mm-mm.
I think they need to stay on the path.
Most definitely. They got told by both Beorn and by Gandalf, don't leave the path. So, yeah.
So that's that.
Did I not, anything that I didn't think of?
I don't think so. I think we hit on all the high points.
All right. Well, should we do haiku first?
Yeah.
And then we can talk about some of the other stuff, the correspondence and the videos we need to watch here.
Yes.
We can knock out the haiku pretty quickly here.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Let's do haiku then.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay.
Haiku. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 syllables in haiku.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 syllables in haiku.
Boom. Let's do this.
Let's. All right. Rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I win. That was
a pretty epic battle.
That was an epic battle. We were on the same wavelength there for a while.
You outsmarted me.
I did.
One step ahead.
There is strategy.
Oh yeah.
To rock, paper, scissors.
I'm thinking to myself, she's gone from scissors to rock. So next is paper. So I'm like, I'm going to jump one ahead and do scissors. And
so what do I do?
She goes one ahead of scissors.
I do rock.
Does rock.
Yep. My thought was he's gone from scissors to rock. He's probably going to go back to scissors. So I went rock.
Man.
One step ahead. All right. I'll go first.
Okay.
Here we go. Queer lodgings indeed, but all the company needs, he gives. Warrior Bear.
Nice.
Thanks. I Googled Beorn on Tolkien Gateway, and it was interesting that his name, depending on what origin you look at, the name can either be translated as warrior, or from Old Norse, it's actually bear. So I just combined them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
Thanks.
Way to use the internet.
Yeah. I also, my first 2 lines rhymed, which I was kind of proud about.
We know it's true because it rhymes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your turn.
All right. What's that buzz? Oh, just big beefy Beorn and his busy bees. Plus bear.
A lot of alliteration in that one.
I wrote it at the very last minute right before the episode started, so yeah. But I was like, well, there is a lot of alliteration associated with Beorn. He's Beorn. He's a bear.
He keeps bees.
He's big. Big.
Black.
And he's a black bear.
Yeah.
And
he doesn't eat beef.
Bees buzz.
Bees
he doesn't eat
buzz,
beef.
And he doesn't eat beef.
But he's beefy.
He is beefy.
Which is something I said. So there you go.
Oh, good. I like it. Good job.
All right. Well, let's watch.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
Let's watch the Tolkien trailer here.
Okay. When did this come out?
I gotta be honest. I'm a little nervous about watching this because I'm like, it better be good.
So wait, this is the one that they're doing here, or is this gonna?
It's coming. Let's just watch it. All right.
Okay.
We can talk about it.
Okay, let's do it.
So everybody will hear the audio, I guess, for this.
Okay.
Ooh, nice sound effects.
Tell me a story.
It's a story about journeys.
The journeys we take to prove ourselves.
It's about adventures. It's about potent magic. A magic beyond anything anyone has ever felt before. About what it means to love. And to be loved.
About courage.
It's about fellowship.
What'd you think?
I got chills.
It looks pretty good.
I think
looks like it has some potential.
I think it looks. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. I remember thinking then this actress that they picked out to play Edith.
Mm-hmm.
When you do the comparison, like she looks like she's pretty good. You know, she looks pretty close to Edith. Yeah. I don't know that the actor. You know who that actor is, by the way?
No, I don't.
Do you remember the movie About a Boy?
Mm-hmm.
The little kid. That's him.
Oh,
yeah.
The guy that plays Tolkien?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
young
little
Tolkien.
kid grown up? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Not him.
Not him.
Where is it? Yeah. Yeah, she Lily Collins, she looks like distant relative of yours, maybe.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. There's my maiden name.
Greta's maiden name's Collins.
Yep.
Here we go. Where is he?
Oh, he's there.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is the actor that was the little boy in About a Boy.
Oh, how about that?
But I don't know. I don't think he looks a lot like young Tolkien in pictures I've seen of young Tolkien. But I mean, it doesn't have, it doesn't have to look exactly like him or anything like that. But I do think that Lily Collins actually looks a good bit like the pictures of young Edith. So
cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it looks like it could be really good.
It's going to be really good. Now it's going to be, so it said May 10th.
Right, May 10th.
Is it going to be a general release, do you know? Or is it going to be, is it going to be released?
I believe so.
Okay. It's not just like a limited showing or, how sometimes they open a movie in just a select number of theaters?
Yeah, it says only in theaters, May 10th, 2019. I think that just means like it's going to be only in theaters at the beginning. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm excited. I think it looks really, really, really good.
Yeah.
You too?
I do.
I know you
yeah.
said you were nervous. Are you?
Well, it's a trailer, so that
it's a pretty short one too. It's not even a minute long.
And in trailers, they always pick out like the
best,
the best little snippets to put in there to get you really excited, and they have the dramatic music and everything. But it looks like it's done really well. Like the quality, like at least like cinematically, the cinematography looks good.
Yes, I agree.
And it looks beautifully done. It's just what's the story it's actually going to tell. That's what's going to be really interesting to me.
Right.
So
yes.
We will have to wait and see, but hopefully there'll be other trailers between then and now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's only a few months away though.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yes, indeed. All right. The other thing that we needed to discuss
in the world of Tolkiendom
is the Lord of the Rings on Prime Twitter feed. So this is the official page for the Lord of the Rings on Prime Video, which of course, by now you've heard. It's been out for several months now, if not longer. Did it come out? I'm trying to remember when it was. It late last year or was it late the year before? I think
the news of it?
Yeah.
I think it was late the year before.
Yeah, it was like 2017,
it's been
like late 2017.
While.
Yeah. But this is really the first official sort of rumblings we've heard. And it's not a whole lot. Let me do a refresh here just to make sure they haven't posted anything since I pulled this up. Only 3 posts, but it's LOTR on Prime, at LOTR on Prime. That's the Twitter. And the first one was posted on February 13th. And it just says, I wisely started with a map, J.R.R. Tolkien. So it's like, okay, cool. Like, that's good because I'm all about the maps.
Yeah, totally.
Like, it's good that they are starting there and they're trying to be true to the world.
Right.
So that's encouraging.
Yeah.
And then the next 2 days later, they posted 3 rings for the Elven Kings under the sky. It's like, okay.
And that's a picture of?
That's a picture of
a map
of Middle Earth, right? That's the map of Middle Earth.
Oh, that's the map of Middle Earth. Okay.
Yeah. So they actually posted 2 things on the 15th, right? They posted this map, and then they posted, in response to that, a link to where you can explore this map on Amazon's website, right? So you can click through on that, and it'll take you to a map that you can look at. So it's interesting to me, like, why did they say 3 rings for the Elven Kings under the sky? And so I'm trying to think of, like, could that be a hint? So my thing is, on this map, are there hints, right?
Oh.
Is this some kind of, like, is it just the map of Middle Earth that we're all fairly familiar with? And it's cool. It's kind of cool to be able to zoom in on different parts. But, what is the point of that line? Are they trying to bring something to our attention?
Are they going to focus on the Elven line or the Elven kingdom? The story of the elves?
Well, it's supposed to take place in the Third Age, right? So what we know about the story, about the show, is that it's going to take place like before Fellowship of the Ring. Okay?
Okay.
I don't know. It may take place before The Hobbit, too. But maybe it's going to be about the creation of the rings. Maybe it's going to be about Sauron and everything he did to, like, create the rings in the first place. And so it'll go back a good ways. So maybe that has something to do with it.
Okay.
So, but that's all, that's what we have so far. That's what we have, this map, which is kind of cool to play around with.
That's actually Tolkien's map, right?
It's a very, if it's not the exact one, it's a very close rendering of it.
Okay.
So, I maybe other people noticed, I don't know if you noticed anything when you look at this map, if you notice anything weird, interesting, abnormal, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
We'd love to maybe discuss that. Hold on, let me see. I want to see what's over here. It feels like it goes further over here than over to the east. It feels like it goes further than what I'm used to. Because, right, here's the Lonely Mountain right here.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Here's where we were today, right, with the,
the edge of Mirkwood.
Right.
Yeah.
And the edge of Mirkwood, and they travel north up here, and they have to cross the stream. Yeah, so, but then you come over here, and this is like way over far to the east, and I'm not even really sure that I remember that being in the
original.
In the original. I could be wrong.
What would that be over there?
Can you grab my copy, like a copy of
sure.
one of the books up there for me? live investigation of the map. Which one? Just grab one of the either Fellowship or Two Towers up on the top shelf. Thanks.
Welcome.
Okay, let's see. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it doesn't. So it goes farther.
Different.
It goes farther to the east than the map that's in the book. Now, that doesn't mean that it could be that Tolkien had really had drawn that, and it just the one we get in the book is not the same one. But the thing is that the elves had come originally, way back before even the first age, right? Had come from way to the east of here, right? So
they had come from the east.
Yeah, so maybe it's going to deal in a lot with the elves, right? Maybe it's going to have to do with like some elves we don't know a whole lot about right now. Yeah.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. So exciting. It's exciting, and I hope they keep posting to this.
Do we have a tentative release date?
No, nothing like that yet.
Okay.
Nothing like that. It's still very, very mysterious as far as what it's going to be.
It's a cool picture. That's the rune, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's the writing on the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Cool.
Very exciting.
Let's see. It feels like there's a lot we need to get caught up on, but wanted to mention a few more things. So, and if we don't get to it today, we'll try to get to it on future episodes, getting caught up on other things. But
okay.
We wanted to mention, so one of our patrons, different times, and a person that has really been supportive of our show, and we really appreciate it, is Kaitlyn Facista. We had her on the show many moons ago in an interview, and she does Tea with Tolkien.
Yep.
And she actually launched her own podcast recently called Tea with Tolkien. And because we appreciate her,
yes,
and all the support she's been to us over the years, we wanted to just say, like, I actually haven't listened to it yet, but you have.
I've listened to one episode.
Yeah. And what did you think?
I really liked it.
Yeah.
I really liked it. Yeah, I need to listen to more.
I need to listen to it. Yeah.
But it was the one that I listened to was on the shorter side. It was only about 12, 13 minutes. But I really like, she's just, her voice is so calming and sweet. But I mean, she shares such like insightful tidbits.
Yeah.
Like the one I listened to was about Lembas and
cool.
kind of the origins that, and kind of its how it mirrors the Eucharist, which was very important to Tolkien, of course, seeing as he was Catholic. And so I learned so much in just that little bit, kind of about the origins of Lembas and different, in the way that it relates to the all the parallels between it and the Eucharist.
Yeah,
I thought it was really cool. And she drew from letters that Tolkien had written, and like she was very well prepared for the discussion. I thought it was really good. And the one that I listened to was just her talking, but it wasn't boring. Like I think she's it's just this way of just kind of teaching without you knowing that she's teaching.
Awesome. Well, I'm definitely going to go listen now.
Yeah, it's really good.
So I just think it's cool that she started her own podcast.
Yeah, I think, and it's very. I'm just like, man, she's a mom with 3 young kids, and just be able to do all that. I think it's awesome.
And by the way, she's a Twitter like beast. Like she's fun to follow on Twitter. She's funny. Yeah. So
cool. If I were on Twitter, I'd
totally I know you're not, but I'm saying like for all those people out there who are on Twitter, like she's a good one to follow. She's funny. So yeah, we just Kaitlyn has has really been supportive of our show in the past, and so we're like, we need to give her a shout out for a new podcast.
Yeah. So, that's really awesome.
Yeah. So go check it out. It's called Tea with Tolkien podcast. And yeah. The more the merrier.
Keep doing good, Kaitlyn.
I also a couple of just notes. I want to give a quick shout out to my friend Ish, who I was corresponding with a longtime listener to the show, and I just have to say, Ish, I'm really sorry that it's been so long since I responded to your last email. Christmas got in the way, and it's just been crazy time for the new year, and we were having a great conversation about really important, deep stuff, and I just haven't responded yet. So I'm like, Ish, if you're out there, man, I'm sorry, and I'm going to respond to you hopefully today. But if I don't, just please know that I'm like, it's in my plan to do so.
It's on his brain.
Yeah.
You'll hear from him.
Sometimes, guys,
future.
sometimes I'm bad about that, like getting back and responding, and other stuff can tend to get in the way. And
I'm horrible at it. If I don't like respond as soon as I read it, it just.
Well, and he and I were having a really deep conversation, and sometimes it's like you don't want to give like one off, like.
Yeah, you want it to be thoughtful.
You want to continue
a
thoughtful, deep conversation in a thoughtful and deep way, and so you're like, I need time to write a good response.
Yeah, I'm sure he understands.
Well, and so I appreciate you, Ish, and I will hopefully get back to you soon. And then another new listener who contacted us recently is Jonathan Rice, and he just wrote this awesome email about what the show means to him. He basically said like he and his father were longtime fans of Lord of the Rings and of Tolkien's works, and would read them together and discuss them. And he lost his father not too long ago, and really after that he discovered the show a few years later, and this show is kind of like it certainly, I don't think I could ever fill the hole, right?
No,
but it's been like a real help to him.
Yeah,
it's basically a lot of what he shared in the email, and
yeah.
It was just really like, it was incredible to hear that.
It was really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, Jonathan, thanks for that incredible note and for taking the time to write it.
Yeah.
And just all the things you said in appreciation of what we do here.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, it really, it means a whole lot.
And we'd love to hear from everybody. Please do write us if you feel like writing us. And, it's always great to hear from people out there.
Yeah, we love it.
You see all the downloads and everything, and you only hear from a small handful of people. But when you do hear from folks, it's really special. Especially when they're long notes like that kind of go into what the podcast means to you. So
yeah, totally. Yeah, very, very meaningful.
All right. Let's see. Was there anything else on this episode? Let's see.
I don't know. No, it looks like that might be it.
Greta's like, can we please be done already? All right. No, I think that's it. So a shout out to our patrons, our current patrons. We've got Al Taylor, Brian Orr, Chris Loftus, Chuck Farnung, David Bigwood, David Dickinson, Emilio Perea, Eric Bessette, James Applegate, James Lindberg, Josh Sosa, Margaret Lyon, Matt Scarrance, Per Brenner, Richard Wall, Sarah Murphy, Shannon Stockbridge, Travis Lawheed, Dr. William Hutton, William Lentius, I think I said his name right, and then Zeke Farmer.
Awesome.
We appreciate y'all.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. All right. Well,
that was a marathon.
That was a little bit of an epic.
Yeah.
It was a long chapter, and a lot to talk about in it.
Fun stuff in the beginning and the end. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you, everybody who's still listening.
Absolutely.
I commend you.
When I listen to long podcasts, like I love, if I love a podcast, I can listen to it the whole time.
Yeah.
Even as it gets long and everything, I'm like, keep going. That's the cool thing about podcasting, right? That's what we love.
Absolutely.
Don't forget to support the show if you can.
Yes.
Head on over to patreon.com/Tolkien Road, and hey, $1 per episode. It probably end up being at most like $4 or $5 a month for you. But it's a huge deal for us, right? Every little bit, and it gets us further to that goal of being able to really do this on a weekly basis, and making the episodes truly epic, like they should be, like this one was. So, all right, well, good episode, Greta.
Good episode, John.
I'm pretty proud of that one.
I think it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun. It's fun to be back in the saddle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you all for making it possible.
Yes, indeed. All right, everybody. We'll talk at you next time.
Yes, we will.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Cue up the outro music here. All right. There we go. Oh, yeah. Whoops.
Oh man.